What's up, Gooners? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because we've got 4 massive stories today that could shape Arsenal's season. So leave your like and let's get to today's news. Gooners, this is massive. Arsenal are prepared to make an initial €60 million offer to sign Real Madrid winger Rodrigo in January. This isn't just interest anymore. This is Arsenal getting ready to actually pull the trigger. According to Spanish outlet Fichajes, Arsenal are set to approach Real Madrid with an initial €60 million, which is roughly £52.8 million, with a further €20 million in achievable performance-based add-ons. So we're looking at a total package of €80 million, around £70 million, if all the add-ons are met. Now, Arsenal were heavily linked with Rodrigo in the summer. The 24-year-old suggested he was open to an exit back then, with Manchester City and Tottenham also checking in on his situation. But nothing materialised, and Rodrigo stayed at Madrid. Since then, his situation has only gotten worse. Rodrigo has started just twice this season under new head coach Xabi Alonso. He's totaled only 255 minutes of La Liga football. For a player of his quality, that's unacceptable, and he knows it. Rodrigo is now keen to explore his options to ensure he's in top condition for next summer's World Cup in North America. He needs to be playing regularly, and Real Madrid aren't giving him that opportunity. So a January move makes perfect sense for everyone involved. Arsenal invested heavily in their creative options in the summer, spending around £105 million on Eberechi Eze and Noni Madueke, plus Victor Gyökeres up front. But Rodrigo's reported availability and interest in leaving Real Madrid has opened up a market opportunity that Mikel Arteta is keen to explore. Let's talk about what Rodrigo would bring to Arsenal. The Brazil international has scored 68 goals in 283 games for Real Madrid. He's won 3 La Liga titles and 2 Champions League trophies. This is a player who's proven himself at the very highest level. When Arsenal were chasing him in the summer, we all knew he'd be a brilliant signing. The question now is whether Arsenal are actually willing to spend this kind of money in January, and whether Real Madrid are willing to sell mid-season. My take on this? If Arsenal can get Rodrigo for €60 million plus add-ons, they should absolutely do it. Yes, we've already got quality wingers, but Rodrigo is a different level. He's a Champions League winner who can play across the entire front line, and if Martinelli or Trossard leave in the summer, we'll need that quality. Plus, if Rodrigo's desperate to play regularly ahead of the World Cup, he's going to be highly motivated. A motivated Rodrigo at Arsenal could be absolutely lethal. This is definitely happening, Gooners. Arsenal are preparing the bid. Now we just need to see if Real Madrid accept and if Rodrigo pushes for the move. Alright, here's a story that might surprise some people. Arsenal are ready to battle Manchester United, Everton and Tottenham for Napoli midfielder Scott McTominay. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Scott McTominay? Really? But hear me out, because his situation is very different now than when he was at Manchester United. According to Team Talk, Arsenal, Manchester United, Everton and Tottenham are all keen on bringing McTominay back to the Premier League. The 28-year-old hasn't looked back since leaving Old Trafford in the summer of 2024. McTominay has redefined his career at Napoli. He's established himself as one of their mainstays, and his performances have been so impressive that some of the biggest clubs are now after his signature. He moved to Napoli in a deal worth €30 million, and while he prefers playing as a central midfielder, he's played in a variety of positions over the last 18 months and done a great job in all of them. The report says McTominay has established himself as one of the best midfielders in the world. That might sound like hyperbole, but his relentless energy, aerial prowess and late arriving goals have genuinely lit up Serie A. He's been that good. While his contract at Napoli runs until the summer of 2028, multiple top clubs are ready to try to prize him away. Manchester United have already held talks with his camp about a potential return. Ruben Amorim is desperate for a new central midfielder, and McTominay could be exactly what he needs. But Mikel Arteta is also looking for more quality in the centre of the park, and McTominay, with his wealth of experience and current form, could come in handy. He'd bring something different to Arsenal's midfield, a physical presence, energy, and those late runs into the box that create goals. Everton want him because bringing in a proven star like McTominay could completely transform their season. And Tottenham boss Thomas Frank isn't pleased with his midfield options and wants an upgrade, so it's a four-way battle for his signature. The problem? Napoli consider him an integral part of their plans and won't sell for anything less than €80 million. That's a lot of money for a 28-year-old, even one in excellent form. Would I want Arsenal to spend €80 million on Scott McTominay? Probably not. But if the price comes down or if it's structured with add-ons, I think he'd actually be a smart signing. He's proven he can perform at the highest level now, and his energy and physicality would add a different dimension to Arsenal's midfield. Let's see how this one develops. It's an interesting option, that's for sure. Now let's talk about the North London derby, because Arsenal have just been handed a massive boost. Martin Odegaard is back in full team training. The Norwegian has been out since the first week of October when he picked up a medial collateral ligament knee injury against West Ham. That's almost 7 weeks without our captain, without the player who makes everything tick for Arsenal. But according to The Sun, Odegaard is now back training with the squad and looks set to be involved in the matchday squad against Tottenham on Sunday. This is huge news, Gooners. Now let's be realistic about his involvement. Eberechi Eze is pretty much guaranteed to start in the number 10 role against Spurs. Eze has been excellent since arriving, and you don't drop him for someone who's been out for 7 weeks. So Odegaard will likely be restricted to a cameo appearance, maybe 20 minutes at best. He won't be up to full speed yet, and Arteta will want to ease him back carefully, but just having him available is a massive boost. The £30 million signing has the knack for creating key chances and brings the best out of Bukayo Saka with their link-up play on the right flank. Even if he only gets 20 minutes, that could be 20 minutes that changes the game. The Gunners skipper has had 3 freak injuries this season, which is incredibly frustrating. He fell on his shoulder twice, then had the clash of knees against West Ham. But he's finally back and his natural fitness levels are excellent, so he should be ready to contribute. There's also news on Gabriel Jesus, who has likewise returned to full training with the squad, but he appears doubtful for the derby given he's been out for 11 months with that serious knee injury. Arsenal are handling him with extra caution, and he may not return to the pitch until December, as we discussed earlier. But Odegaard being back is the key story here. Arsenal's record without him this season hasn't been terrible, but you can see the difference when he's on the pitch. His vision, his passing, his ability to unlock defences, that's all been missing. Having him back for the run into Christmas when the fixture list gets congested is going to be absolutely crucial for Arsenal's title push. Finally, let's talk about Max Dauman's contract situation, because there's both good news and a bit of concern here. Arsenal Insider understands that Arsenal have a new scholarship prepared for Dauman when he turns 16 in December. The youngster became the youngest player to feature in the Champions League earlier this season, coming off the bench against Slavia Prague at just 15 years and 308 days old. The opportunities he's getting prove how highly rated he is at Arsenal. But here's the complication. Until Dauman signs a professional contract when he turns 17, Arsenal don't have complete control over his future. Transfer expert Graham Bailey spoke to Arsenal Insider about the situation, and here's what he said. Not much can be done other than he will sign what is there. It will be a 12-month deal and the player can still leave during that time. That's the danger, but there is little concern at Arsenal. So Dauman will sign a scholarship in December when he turns 16, but that's only a 12-month deal. During that time, he could technically leave for any club until he signs a professional deal at 17. That's the loophole that exists in youth football. Bailey continued, a professional deal is waiting for him when he turns 17, but up until that point, Arsenal are vulnerable to any club coming in. Dauman is not tied down to Arsenal until he signs his first professional deal. Even on a scholarship, he could leave at any point. That sounds scary, right? But here's the crucial part. Bailey says, Dauman has shown no desire to leave the Emirates and nobody expects him to before he turns 17. So Arsenal are confident that Dauman is fully committed to staying at his boyhood club. He's getting opportunities at the highest level already, he loves the club, and there's no indication he wants to leave. David Raya recently spoke about Dauman and downplayed comparisons between him and Lamine Yamal, but he was full of praise for the youngster. Raya told ESPN, I would not ever compare two players, even less two players with that quality. They are two very different players, but where they are similar is that when they go out onto the pitch, they enjoy it. They are always playing with a smile that it seems they are playing in school. They go out there to play, to have a good time. It is clear that they compete to help the team, but that naturalness in the way they play football and at the level they're playing is incredible. So one of Arsenal's senior players is comparing Daumann's joy and naturalness on the pitch to Lamine Yamal, one of the best young players in world football. That tells you everything about the talent we're dealing with. Arsenal just need to get through the next year without any big clubs coming in and turning his head. And based on everything we're hearing, that shouldn't be a problem. Daumann's happy, his family are happy, and a professional contract is waiting for him at 17. So there you have it, Gooners. What do you think, Gooners? Should Arsenal go all in for Rodrigo in January? Are you excited about Odegaard being back? Would you take McTominay? And are you confident Daumann will stay? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an Arsenal update. Until next time, Gooners, come on you Gunners!